Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to the double champ, Reiner De Ridder, up against Vitaly Bigdash at one championship, 159. De Ridder versus Bigdash. Champ, great to see you. Back in action again. You had a plan, the season, the sporting season. How's that going for you?
It's going all right so far, right? So I was first, then the grappling match, and now the next fight. Hopefully 2 more this year, and then I'll be very happy.
Wow, that will be quite a year. So after your last fight, it was really interesting to see you do a little bit of a tour, take on some new skills, roll with some of the very best in the world. What was it? Buchecha, Gary Tonon, Gordon Ryan. Can you tell me a bit about that experience and what you got out of it?
Man, it was amazing. I had a great time there in Florida. Got to train with Buchecha, as you said. We did like an hour and a half session of total craziness, which was very cool. Had a good time at Sanford. Got to train with Aung. Got some kickboxing in there, which was very cool. Nice to meet him. Spend some time together. It was good to spend some time with Henry as well. After that, we flew out to Texas. I got to roll with one of the guys I really look up to in Gordon, and was amazing to study under John. John is such a very cerebral guy when it comes to this sport. He thought my grappling has gone to the next level, I think, and I'll hope to show that in a few weeks.
Awesome. And in your opinion, those guys, Galvao and Gordon Ryan, they really don't like each other. Who's the superior grappler in your opinion? Because you know them both well now. Yeah,
I'd say the stand-up is where Gordon is good, but this is the most tricky part for him, I'd say. So that's where Andre is very well. His wrestling is very good. So that's the interesting part. If they can get it to the floor, I think Gordon will dominate him, and we'll be able to finish him. But if Andre is able to keep it standing, it might be different. So it's an interesting one, to say the least.
You guys all seem to have a quite cool approach as martial artists. When there's this respect, you can roll together, but there's maybe an understanding that one day you will be opponents. I think Buchecha seems totally cool about that. Did this understanding come up with Gordon Ryan as well? Is he somebody I know that you respect, that you'd like to roll with in competition?
Yeah, as far as Gordon goes, I'll stick to training for now. His jiu-jitsu is from another planet, man. He's very, very good, and his skill set is very well sorted for these types of matches, like long, no points matches. He's the king of that. It doesn't always work well when there's a time limit, when it's MMA, because then you have to rush some stuff sometimes, force some stuff. But I'll stay away from no time limit matches with Gordon for now.
Do you think he's still young, but do you think he will do MMA eventually? And do you think he'll be successful there?
And I don't see him transferring to MMA anytime soon.
So let's talk more about Bigdash. How much did he impress you in his last fight with Aung? What was your takeaway from that performance?
It didn't really impress me too much. He gassed out in the second round, as he always does. He got very tired. Got lucky that he was able to get on top every time and control the fight there. But that's not going to happen with me.
You say you'll put him away in the second round. What makes you say that?
He's going to be tired by the end of the first. Then he's going to come out in the second, guns blazing, because he has to finish the fight. He won't be able. I'll take him down. I'll choke him out at the end of the second.
Who's the biggest test for you, do you think, in terms of middleweight? Will Bigdash be your biggest test, or have you already had it, or is it to come?
It's always the next match. The next fight is always the biggest test. It's the one I'm focused fully on. But the match with Aung were, of course, big tests as well. My fight with Ataides is the one that stands out, the one I've had to push the hardest to get it done, to win. But we'll see with Bigdash. I don't see a lot of problems, but who knows?
And it's fantastic. I think it's something that the fans love. When you talk about going to heavyweight and taking on Bhullar, for example, it shows a gameness, I think, that relates with people. If they had a heavyweight rankings, where do you put yourself in the heavyweight rankings?
number one.
Do you think Bhullar is actually going to get through Anatoly Malykhin?
Yeah, that's an interesting matchup. I can't really say because Malykhin clearly has the better striking. Huh? So if it's a striking match, he's going to win. But if Bhullar gets him down, he plays his favorite game, lay and pray, then he might get the win.
Would you say that Malykhin is your toughest test in one, given that you're both undefeated, you're both absolute finishers?
Yeah, maybe. But there's a lot of holes in his game as well. He's shorter than I am. I think I can dominate that guy as well. He hits hard, of course, but everybody does. But that's a very interesting one. But let them figure it out first. I hope, as far as I know, they are ready to show down sometime soon. So let them figure it out. Let me have some more tape to study, see what they do, and then let me get the next shot at the heavyweight belt.
How much of a fan are you of the sport in terms of following it? Like, have you looked at the progress of people like Odi Delaney and also Buchecha? Like, both these guys are still early in their careers professionally, but they're getting finishes, they're getting wins. Where do they stand in terms of that title picture, do you think? Because the heavyweight division isn't the deepest.
Definitely. I'm a big fan of Buchecha, the way he moves. From the first few fights he had, you can really see he's transitioning very well from being a pure grappler to being an MMA grappler, and his striking looks very good. His takedowns are great. He's really in control, and it's a good sight to see. It's very nice to see him do so well, make the transition into MMA.
Do you have time for any other sports when you're training in this elite level? I know you like to skate. Do you play football? Is there any other sports that you like to do just to either unwind or that help you with martial arts?
I like it all, man. I really love to do like kite surfing, windsurfing. I would like to sail and stuff, snowboarding, diving. I love all that stuff, but no time right now. There's only one thing on my mind, and that's fighting.
Now that the pandemic is a bit less, are you going to be able to capitalize on going out to Singapore and go try these sports maybe in places like Bali and Thailand around Asia?
You framed it very well. And the pandemic is a bit less, but it's not quite there yet. Especially in Singapore, it's still pretty strict. I think last time we were there, I think we were still wearing mouth masks outside. So it's still a crazy world, but it's getting better. I would really like to. I'd really like to spend some time outdoors again after this, chill a bit. But there's a lot of work waiting still at home as well, so we'll find the right balance.
Do you have a dream location in terms of, are you asking Chatria, hey, come to Holland, please? Or are you thinking the American show when it finally happens? Because Singapore's a second home for you now, undefeated there. It seems like a happy stomping ground. I'm
undefeated everywhere, my friend.
That's fair. That's fair. What about the future, though, when we can finally go elsewhere?
I'm excited to go everywhere. So back in the day, before the pandemic, we always had a good time in all the cities. We always check them out the days before, and it'd be nice to stay for a little while afterwards, after a fight. So Tokyo is one on the bucket list. America's would be very cool as well, in the United States, somewhere in a nice location. I hope they don't do like an Indian reservation, because I've heard that that's not too exciting normally. But that would be very cool. Amsterdam would be amazing. Rotterdam, maybe there's a big venue there as well, which would be cool for one. I'm down for everything, and I really like to go outside of Singapore for a chance.
All right, last one from me. I was interested to see Jiri Prochazka said that he let himself have 1 beer and 2 cigarettes when he won the UFC title. A lot of fans were loving commenting on you saying that you would choke him out in, I think, round 2, and also that you would beat Izzy. Who is the biggest test outside of one championship or in the whole world for you, do you think? Who actually has the skill set to give you some trouble?
Those two guys are easy matchups, man. If you've seen the fight with Glover, Jiri is there's not a lot of skills on the ground. He's unpredictable, of course, so you don't want to eat too many shots from him, but I think he's very beatable. Izzy is as well. He does evolve from fight to fight, so maybe the next one is going to show some new skills, but I think those two guys are very beatable. there's guys underneath there, and like the top 5 worldwide that are much harder matchups. Gegard, my training partner, is of course up there. Yeah.
Who would be the one guy you would love to invite to the circle? Would it be Gegard if he's done with Bellator? Or who would you most like to see in this promotion?
Nah, I could never fight Gegard, man. We've been training for too long. We fight twice a week. It's more than enough. Never
no,
on the big stage.
Not necessarily to be your opponent, but who would you just love to see in the promotion?
Oh, I'd love to see Gegard fight everywhere. Really, he'd be great in one as well. But I think he's going to be wrapping it up sometime soon. He has a girl now. He's in love. It's all mushy dushy, lovey-dovey stuff. So I think he's going to be wrapping it up in a little while. Who else? Well, my wife says she would really like to fight as well. She just had her first MMA training last week, so she's she's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, but she's making a transition now as well. No. It's getting very dangerous.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
But we have a shitload of great MMA fighters here in Holland, and there's a lot of upcoming guys. We have great fighters here in the gym already. There's not really one particularly that comes to mind right now, but everybody is already in one. I'd like to see active as well, like Typhoon Özcan. I'm really looking forward to see Regian van Eersel fight again. We have such a wealth of big names. Elias Inahachi, it's time for him as well. So there's a lot of fun stuff hopefully coming up soon.